I remember that fateful night with unnerving clarity. My name is Emiko Lee Savage, a ninja assassin who had long served the Yakuza in Toyoko, Japan. In all my years executing covert orders and enforcing a strict code of silence, I believed I had mastered my emotions and honing my instincts. Yet nothing could have prepared me for the message that made me question my loyalty to this secretive group. A covert tip reached my ears in hushed tones. A group of young women from America, stolen from their homeland and exploited in a secret slave trade deal, had been brutally murdered by the very organization I now serve. The details were murky, but evidently the girls had seen certain high-up faces they should not have seen, and so they were immediately eliminated, with prejudice. That night, as rain blurred the neon lights of Tokyo into watery reflections on deserted streets, I crept through back alleys with my heart pounding with a mix of indignation and outrage. The stolen innocence of those bright, beautiful lives haunted me. For years, I had believed that every evil deserved a precise reckoning, an eye for an eye. But never before had my own masters, the Yakuza, been implicated in such a heartless act of senseless cruelty. It was as if a dark veil had been lifted, revealing calculated corruption where honor once reigned. I retreated to my hidden apartment, its only decoration a few relics of my past and the silent weight of my sacred duty. There, by a single lamp's glow, I made a vow that would set me on a perilous journey. I would abandon the organization that had defined me for so long. I would exact a vengeance so insidious that it would shake the very foundations of this corrupt criminal empire. Yet even as I resolved to take matters into my own hands, I knew I was no match for the vast network of Yakuza soldiers behind the recent atrocities. In that desperate moment, I turned to the only name that had ever inspired awe in my heart. My great-grandfather, the legendary and immortal Bruce Lee. With trembling hands, I knelt before a modest shrine in the corner of my room. There, I lit a single incense stick and bowed before his faded photograph and carefully preserved calligraphy. In a quiet, fervent prayer, I pleaded for his guidance, for the strength of his spirit, to join mine in this final battle. As the incense smoke swirled in unpredictable patterns and the temperature seemed to drop, I felt a presence, commanding yet serene, enter the room. The air itself shimmered with an energy that defied explanation. I sensed that my plea had been heard and answered. That night marked the beginning of a reckoning that would upend everything I had known. I set out to dismantle the Yakuza network from within, to expose their crimes and deliver the justice these innocent teen girls deserved. My mission was clear. I would strike at the heart of this corruption and purge the stain of cruelty they had wrought. The memory of those young lives and the guiding spirit of my great-grandfather burned in my heart as I prepared to cross a point of no return. In the days that followed, I worked in secrecy. I traced every hidden corner of the Yakuza's operations, mapping secret routes and noting the routines of those who would never suspect betrayal. Every detail was recorded in my private journal, a testament to my determination to honor the fallen without further tarnishing the legacy of justice I hoped to restore. Night after night, I returned to my shrine. With each visit, I recited a prayer that had been passed down through generations, a quiet request for strength and guidance. I recalled the lessons of Bruce Lee, whose life and art had taught that true power lay not only in physical mastery, but in the purity of one's resolve and steadfastness. My heart ached for the victims and for the lost honor of the organization I once revered. The Yakuza's heinous actions had awakened something inside me, a righteous fury and indignation that could not be contained. On one such night, as I knelt before the shrine, the room was filled with a palpable calm. The incense smoke formed gentle spirals in the dim light, and I felt an almost imperceptible pulse of energy. In that stillness, I sensed the spirit of Bruce Lee growing near, offering silent support. I did not hear his voice, yet his presence was unmistakable, a guiding force that steadied my resolve and calmed my nerves. I devoted myself entirely to the task ahead. I secured my arsenal of finely maintained samurai blades, throwing stars, and other specialized tools that had been my silencing instruments in many covert missions. With the secret routes I had mapped out, I began to infiltrate the lower ranks of the organization. My aim was not to incite chaos, but to gather irrefutable evidence of their misdeeds, a damning record that would later serve as the foundation for their downfall. Every step through the rain-slicked streets was measured and deliberate. I moved like a shadow among the neon reflections, evading the ever-watchful eyes of the Yakuza enforcers. My mind replayed the dire images of those stolen lives, and with each memory, my determination grew. I was preparing for a confrontation that I knew would change everything, even if it meant shattering my former allegiance forever. I soon uncovered that the heinous act had been part of a broader, concealed operation, one that had exploited countless innocents under a veil of secrecy. The depth of the betrayal was overwhelming. My sense of duty to bring justice became intertwined with a profound personal vendetta. I knew that if I were to succeed, I needed not only my skills, but also the supernatural strength of my great-grandfather's legacy. The spirit that had answered my call now propelled me forward as I embarked on the most dangerous mission of my professional life. The night of the assault arrived with a muted, heavy silence. I had located the command center of the Yakuza, a fortress concealed beneath the guise of a legitimate enterprise in a forgotten quarter of downtown Tokyo. The compound, secured by layers of guards and fortified by an oppressive aura of intimidation, was the nerve center of the criminal empire. With the spectral support of Bruce Lee's spirit deep within me, I advanced silently through the compound's dark corridors. Every movement was expertly executed with the precision of a trained assassin. I navigated winding, narrow passages and avoided well-lit patrols, relying on years of honed instincts and the quiet guidance of my ancestral great-grandfather. The compound was alive with the chatter of guarded voices and the clink of restrained metal, a stark contrast to the silent stillness of my own purpose. In a secluded corridor, I paused to listen. Faint words, barely audible, spoke of meetings and covert plans. I knew I had reached the inner sanctum. My plan was simple yet audacious: to confront the leaders responsible for the unspeakable crimes committed against those innocent souls. I struck swiftly, moving from shadow to shadow until I reached a dimly lit chamber where a group of high-ranking figures gathered. Their discussion was careless, unaware of the retribution that lurked in the darkness, waiting. With a deep, steadying breath, I stepped into the light, my blades drawn. The ensuing battle was swift and resolute. I engaged with the men, each strike a manifestation of the silent fury that had built within me over months of meticulous planning and preparation. The clash of steel against steel was punctuated by the quiet determination in my eyes, a look that belied the storm raging within me. I did not linger on words. My actions conveyed the justice that I had longed to deliver. One by one, the leaders fell before me as I executed my plan with unerring precision. In the midst of the melee, I felt the presence of Bruce Lee's spirit guiding my every move. It was as if his timeless wisdom and fluid technique merged with my own, enabling me to strike with an accuracy that was both breathtakingly beautiful and unstoppable. The chamber filled with the intent of our combined resolve, a silent testament to the retribution that would not be halted until the guilty were vanquished and ended. As the final Yakuza collapsed, the oppressive silence in the chamber deepened. I stood amid the fallen, my chest heaving with heavy breathing, and my mind replaying the weight of each action. For a brief moment, a flicker of triumph settled upon me. Yet beneath that triumphant veneer, a cold understanding set in. Vengeance, no matter how justified, left a mark that no victory could ever cleanse. I had become the harbinger of retribution and death, and with every life taken, the cold cost of justice imprinted itself upon my soul. In the aftermath of that grim confrontation, the streets of Tokyo seemed to speak with whispers of a phantom avenger. The news spread quietly. A mysterious force had dismantled a powerful criminal network overnight. Yet, as I retreated into the solitude of the night, I sensed that the price of my actions was heavier than I had ever imagined. The memory of those I had slain and the knowledge of their unspeakable crimes clung to me like a sinful shroud. In the quiet hours after my assault, I began to notice unsettling signs: shadows in corners, a chill that no fire could dispel, and the occasional brush of a phantom presence that raised the hairs on the back of my neck. At first, I dismissed these as the natural toll of my strenuous mission. But soon, I realized they were more, a subtle but persistent reminder that the curse of vengeance had endowed itself with my very essence. Seeking solace and answers, I withdrew to an old dojo on the edge of the city. There, amid the time-worn tatami mats and the gentle rustling of bamboo outside, I attempted to reclaim a sense of balance. I meditated for hours, trying to discern whether the spirit that had aided me was a guardian or a force that would forever haunt me. The whispers of my ancestors, the lessons of discipline, and the quiet strength of Bruce Lee's legacy provided fleeting comfort. Yet, as I closed my eyes in the silent stillness, I could not shake the feeling that I had become as much a prisoner of my own retribution as the ones I had condemned to the afterlife. One quiet evening in the dojo, as I sat in solitary contemplation, I felt a familiar presence enter the space. Slowly, I opened my eyes to behold the ethereal figure of my great-grandfather, Bruce Lee, standing at the threshold. His expression was calm, yet tinged with sorrow, a silent acknowledgement of the heavy burden I now carried. His gaze did not speak, but I understood that he, too, recognized the cost of the path I had chosen. The moment was both a blessing and a curse, for it confirmed that my destiny was now irrevocably intertwined with a future of both honor and damnation. I began to understand that the retribution I had so fiercely sought was not a simple act of justice. It was a transformation of my soul. In my quest to punish those who had stolen innocent lives, I had allowed the darkness of their sins to seep into my own spirit. The Yakuza's cruelty had not been confined to their actions. It had infected me, hurting me as much as it had ended them. Even as I had dismantled their network, I now realized that the true cost of vengeance was the loss of the very self I had once known. Determined not to let my soul be wholly consumed, I vowed that I would continue to fight, but with a tempered resolve that embraced both the light and the darkness within me. I would become a guardian, not only of justice, but also of the fragile balance between retribution and redemption. Yet, as I walked that solitary path, I could not deny the bitter truth. I was now as much a creature of vengeance as the ghosts of those I had slain. The lines between right and wrong, hero and monster, had blurred until they were nearly indistinguishable. Now, as I record these final words in the early hours before dawn, I reflect on the choices that have led me here. I, Emiko Lee Savage, have become both the Avenger and the Haunted, a being forged in the crucible of retribution, my soul forever marked by the lives I sought to save. The spirit of my great-grandfather, Bruce Lee, remains a silent companion, an angelic presence that guides me, even as I grapple with the price of my actions. The consequences of that grim night, when I turned against the Yakuza and dished out my own brand of justice, is not one of simple victory. Instead, it is a tapestry of sadness, resilience, and a warning that true retribution often comes with a cost that no mortal can easily bear. In the days since my assault, the city has whispered of a mysterious guardian, a figure who roams the neon-lit streets, balancing the scales of justice against the persistent tide of human cruelty. I have come to see that I am not alone in this struggle. Others, touched by the same call for vengeance and haunted by similar ghosts, have emerged from the shadows. We are bound by an unspoken pact to defend the innocent and to punish those who would betray the sanctity of life. As I wander the labyrinthine streets of Tokyo, I carry within me the memories of the victims whose lives were taken too soon and the weight of every soul I have condemned for those actions. Every silent step, every measured breath is a testament to a destiny that is both awe-inspiring and heartbreaking at the same time. I know now that the true battle is not solely against external evils, but against the evil that resides within each of us. Vengeance, though sometimes necessary, leaves an indelible mark on the soul, a mark that transforms us into something both more powerful and more fragile. My mission is unending. In the quiet hours before sleep, I sit by the window, watching the city's lights flicker like distant beacons of hope. I hear the silent footfalls of my own steps in the alleys and sense the gentle, unwavering presence of those kindred spirits who share in this solemn duty. We have become the silent custodians of a broken world, bound by the realization that true justice is a delicate balance, one that demands constant vigilance and the willingness to embrace both the light and the darkness in pursuit of balance in an unbalanced world. This is my confession, my legacy, and my eternal pledge. I will continue to walk the path of retribution, even as I search for a way to heal the wounds that vengeance has inflicted upon my soul. The spirit of Bruce Lee guides me still, and together with other ghostly figures who have joined me in this unending crusade, we are the guardians of a justice that transcends mortal limits. May these words serve as a solemn reminder that the pursuit of justice, though noble, often comes with a price that can never be paid even after the battle is won. And as you listen to the quiet whispers of the night, know that somewhere in the shadows, a guardian stands watch, a silent avenger dedicated to preserving the fragile balance between retribution, redemption, and rebirth.
Hello, my Nightmare Obsession fans. We hope you loved this story and were almost frightened to death, left wanting even more. If so, please share video and our channel link with friends and family and ask them to subscribe, like, comment, and share with their friends and family too. We really want to create more nightmarish horror stories for you. So please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel now. We would really appreciate it. Thanks so much.